Hello grade 6 and 7. Welcome back to another solfege and sight singing class. Last week we did music history. We're gonna take a break from that because we're gonna be doing it every other week, okay? So we're back to doing solfege. Next week we'll be back with Bach, all right? So you need to continue practicing your solfege warm-ups that I've been teaching you. So they've been 2 new solfege warm-ups. Make sure you continue working with those. You can pause the video now and sing through them before you continue. Pause the video right now. All right, now let's get into our rhythms. So we did exercise 1 and 2 in our first lesson. So we're going to work on exercise 3 and 4 for our rhythms. Now if you notice with exercise 3, we have an 8th note rest. Before it was a quarter rest, which is equal to 1 beat. An 8th note rest, just like the 8th note, is equal to half a beat. Now if you remember, we would read 8th notes. If there were 2 8th notes together, we'd say 1 and. So now that we have a rest, we're just going to have to say rest for the same amount of time that we would say and. Does that make sense? So let's try now with line 3. So we have ta, ta, ti, 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 ta, a. If I'm using the ta sounds, so let's just go through it only using ta sounds. Together, 1, 2, 3, let's go. Ta, ta, ti, 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 ta, a, ti, 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 rest, ti, ta, 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 rest, ti, ta, ta, a. So in my mind, I had to count that 8th note, rest. Okay, so it would be 1 and. Instead I said rest, ti. So now let's use numbers instead. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and rest and 2, 3, 4, rest and 2, 3, 4. Alright, so let's go through line 3 again, just using the numbers, and then we're going to repeat with the ta sounds. 1, 2, 3, let's go. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and rest and 2, 3, 4, rest and 2, 3, 4. Now with the ta sounds. Ta, ta, ti, 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 ta, a, ti, 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 rest, ti, ta, 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 rest, ti, ta, ta, a. Let's do the same thing with line 4, which now has our 8th note, rest, and quarter rests. So let's try with the ta sounds one more time for line 4. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Ti, 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 ta, a, rest, ti, ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, rest, ta, rest. Ti, 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 ta. One more time. 2, 3, let's go. Ti, 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 ta, a, rest, ti, ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, rest, ta, rest. Ti, 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 ta. Alright, now let's do it with our numbers. 3, let's go. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, rest and 2, 3, 4 and 1, rest, 3, rest, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's try that one more time. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, rest and 2, 3, 4 and 1, rest, 3, rest, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so those are 2 rhythm challenges. I'd like for you to send in line 5. Alright, now for the challenge I gave you the other week, I only received 3 voice notes. 3 people sent in their voice notes. I don't know what happened to the rest. Are the rest in school? Are you guys out there? I need to be receiving your sight singing challenges. So here's another opportunity. You're going to send your voice notes in to my private chat, my chat on Teams, okay? Make sure you send line 5. I want to hear how you read this rhythm, both with the ta sounds and the numbers, just as we've been doing. So let's move on to our sight singing challenges now. We're going to go from line 6, which is in the key of, can you tell me? The key of C. So C is our do. How we know what key a line is in is by knowing what the do is. Now in this case, every line begins with do. There are some lines that will begin with mi, some that will begin with re, so. So it depends on what we have in front of us, but we know for now that this line is in the key of C because it begins with C. Now it begins with the high do, not the low do. The low do would be middle C, which usually has a ledger line in between. So it's a note that dangles with a ledger line right in the middle of it. So it begins with high do. So let's see if we can figure out what a high do is. You don't have to sing the exact C note, but we're just going to pick a comfortable do. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So that's the one we're gonna use, do. Try and read this with me, sing this with me, just by looking for the first time. Do is our starting note. 1, 2, let's try. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, re, do, ti, do. That was nice and smooth because we descended just gradually, step by step, and then we did a little back and forth between do, re, and then we walked back down again. We touched on T, the lower T, below middle C, and then we came back to do. Very nice. Let's now do line 7, which was supposed to be for your challenge. Okay, so if we have do as our starting note, we have 2 8th notes at the beginning, so it should be do, re, mi, fa, sol, and onwards. So let's try slowly, sight reading once again. We're not going to overly practice, just try and sing along with me. Do, 2, 3, let's go. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, re, do, ti, la, ti, do. That's line 7. One more time. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, re, do, ti, la, ti, do. Now let's skip over to line 10. Now line 10 starts with a different do. Our starting note is G. So we are in the key of G. Another reason why we know we're in the key of G is because of that sharp just behind the time signature. That sharp, the 1 F sharp, tells us that we are in the key of G. So whenever you're trying to figure out whether you're in C or G, look for that F sharp. The key of G only has 1 F sharp. So let's pick our do. Let's say do. Will that be too high? The key of G gets very high. Do. Let's go back there. So let's try this very slowly. We're doing the same thing. We're just reading, singing what we see, singing what we see, yeah. Do, 1, 2, 3, let's go. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. For that last measure. Let's try that again. This was a nice gradual ascension. It was an ascending line, but we kept going back and forth between certain notes as we climbed up. Can we try that again? 1, 2, starting note being do, together 3, go. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Line 11 is your challenge for this week. So you're going to send in line 5 of the rhythm challenges, and then you're going to send in line 11 of the sight singing challenge. So remember just what we've done. Try to sing beginning to the end of the line, and make sure you pay attention to the note values as you go along. All right, that's all for this week. Make sure you practice, and we'll see you next week.